Okay, so it is now April 20th of 2025. Obviously, I'm in my room here. I'm telling you, people, this girl had a fucking blast in here. This girl had a fucking blast in here. And honestly, I don't know how she did it, but she got up in there somehow. Okay? Alright? Now, things have been moved here, okay? Right? Like, she tossed everything around in here. I'm reorganizing. I think I'm gonna make a little donation out on the streets for anyone that wants some miscellaneous bags of rice or whatever. Okay, I can't do this today. I'm in the kitchen washing the floor and dishes and everything. Do you see that white bat? Now, that white batting does not belong there. That should be fabric all the way up. Honestly, and like this stuff in here has been moved too. Okay, there's less. Right, because you see I'm making it easy for Andre to find. Huh? Alright. And as I'm doing that, I'm taking out fabric here and there. And, you know, we were going to work on doing something with it. Well, no. Oh, I have to get up in here. I have to find a way. Because you have to remember, this girl is tall. She's tall, right? So, I don't know how she would have done it. Okay. I had bolts of fabric. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. I don't have glasses on or nothing. I see the shadow of... Let's see if I can see it in the screen. Come on, baby. Where are you? Okay. Right there. I think that's it right there. I think that's it right there. Does that look like a sequence to you? There's bolts of fabric that were flat sequins, pleather. I see a silver sequins, but there's batting on top of that. Okay, hold on a minute. So this is what I'm going to talk about in a minute. Okay, hold on. There's a gaping fucking hole in here, right? Hold on. Remember I told you I have interfacing up here? Well, hold on a minute. There's some sticking up like that. What that black thing is? Well, yeah, I can kind of tell it's interfacing. I didn't do that, people. My interfacing is over here. This bitch, I'm telling you, she did something in here because it was a fucking mess, man. Okay. Like, it took me all day. You don't even know. For the amount of little bit, okay, all we did, people, was take the trunk off the dresser. Okay? And a few things. This stuff in here, it went over there, and a little bit of it, I'm sorting stuff out, right? It went over here. But for the amount of mayhem in terms of it all mixed up and things not where they're supposed to be, I'm missing jars here. I'm supposed to have some jars here that should be covered up. They're not here in terms of like this type of jar, like this type of box, right? Like, you know, okay, they're not there, right? You know what I'm saying? That interface, I never did. No way. Honestly, I didn't even know I had black interface. But that's interfacing with another piece standing up. The ones that I thought that maybe she did take appeared to be somewhat over here, but there's a gaping fucking hole in here, okay? And what's on the wall is a shelf that I stacked bolts of fabric, pleathers, flat sequins, that kind of stuff. It's missing. Well, I all of a sudden magically have, where is it? There it is. Black interface up like this. Okay? Now, I don't think, I told you, she's a professional. It's like a home invasion, or you know those smash and grabs? You hear about those smash and grab things? Like when people go into not grocery stores, but jewelry stores or places like that, and they just run in and they smash and they grab and they run out. That's kind of like what I'm feeling happened here. And I'm wondering if the Uber guy wasn't her freaking friend. Hold on a minute. Okay, I'm back. So I'm just going to talk about this. Maybe that's... come on. Let's go. I think it's... yeah. All right. So we're going to talk about what's on the top of my quote-unquote bunk bed. I didn't even know I had black interface. You know how I could tell it was interface? Remember I told you I see in contrast and shadows, and I don't see color, but I can see, I guess, density. like exposure, you know, it's like exposure to some things, you know, you can see the depth of something. Well, when that thing was up there like this, and there was a little piece off, I could see the difference in the density of the little piece that was off compared to it being all wrapped around the bolt. And being that it was next to some freaking interface, what else would it be but interface? But only it's standing up like this. Oh my God, people. You know what I'm going to do? Okay. I have a plan. Some of this stuff, miscellaneous little bottles and all this crap. Now, there is a little bit downstairs in Auntie Shemai's room, but I'm going to get a box and several boxes, and I'm going to start boxing this stuff up. I thought about boxing it up and just putting it out on the road and let people take it, but I thought, no, what are you doing, Judy? You know, you can't afford to be... You're generous, but you don't have to be, like, whatever. Like, you can't afford just to be chucking out good food, right? And I'm not chucking it out. You can't afford just to give away good food, okay? But, you know, I got to clear out more in my bedroom so I can continue doing what I'm doing, because I'm in that transition stage, right? I'm pulling out fabric, pulling out clothes, pulling out books. I pulled out records, you know, I've been pulling out, and, you know, I got a long way to go yet, right? I hadn't done the top yet. The only thing that I did on the top was grab a few, like I have these big plastic carry bags with batting material or something like that, and you can either make a quilt with it, or you can, you know, make a stuffed animal and stuff it in, or that type of material, or for Amari, in case I need it for something to, you know, because he falls, right? So I need to, you know, put batting or something. Okay. I moved some of that from the top because I planned on getting up on top and start removing the fabrics and stuff that are up there. And also, you know, I've got bolts of fabric that are on a shelf up against the wall all the way up. But no, there's something there that's not supposed to be there. And there's a big gaping fucking hole, and when I took the little bit that I took out, people, there, you know, like, it wasn't a big gaping hole, and never mind a bolt of black interface standing up like this, you know, like that's just, okay, because she was digging in things, people, and fucking tossing, and just, right? Looking for the most expensive shit that she could grab. But I'm wondering if, you know, I'm wondering if she had help. Somehow, like the Uber guy. Because when you have, this is what I know, I'm bouncing with this, people, because this is so messed up. Because once I get up on that bunk bed, and I will, but just not for a day or two, because I got to do other things first, right? I gotta work in the kitchen. I've been washing dishes. The kids are sleeping, right? I've been washing dishes. And, I'm starting to wash the floor, and I gotta do a couple of loads of laundry, and I have to think how I'm going to deal with the situation, right? So I thought maybe I'll just pack up a few Walmart bags and put them outside, and I will do that with some things because I don't have a problem with rodents inside my house. That thing that was chewing up there hasn't been chewing for the last few days, but Marcane did put a sticky trap up there. The point is, I can't have a little half-empty bag of rice in my room where, if something ever did get in there through chewing through walls, what do you think's going to happen? So, anything that's in my room has to be non-edible, in a can, basically, in jars, or in buckets. Now, I do have boxes on my bottom bunk that I put in there with some of the, bigger bulk items that I buy, like, rice, that kind of stuff. That's in Mylar bags, all taped up, and I'm not moving those. But outside of that, anything small and miscellaneous, like I had a little bag of, it hadn't even been opened yet, of rice in a Mylar bag. That stuff can go downstairs, right? A little half bag of rice, I'll put that in a Walmart bag with a few other things, and I put it out on the road, and Andre goes out the next day. I say, Andre, because people walk by at night, right? And they take it, right? And if I think it's good for dog food, I put for dog food. It's up to them to decide if they're homeless and that's all they got to eat and it's flour, right? You know what I'm saying? Then make yourself a biscuit, because it's not bad. I just don't have the room for it, and I don't have the time to do it. And plus I have lots of flour, so, and I ain't getting no time to be doing paper mache. So, before I throw it out, and Andre go out the next, and it's gone. So I figure make a couple of bags of miscellaneous, like I said, little things that, have been around forever. Just, if they want to feed it to their dog, they can feed it to their dog. If they want to make cat food, they can make cat food with it. If they don't want to do that and they want to eat it for themselves, they can do that. That's their business. And same thing with all those miscellaneous bottles and stuff of sauces, the miscellaneous ones, just to alleviate the congestion, right? Because, that's the only place I can really put them, because my room is cold, and because I haven't been going downstairs and doing anything downstairs for months and months and months and months and months and months. That shit just sits there, right? Like, I haven't been buying it. I stopped buying sauces and jars, and I don't need it, right? What I need now is I need more space now. So I'm gonna, in between doing the kitchen and whatever I'm doing, because I can't get up on that bunk bed until I have more floor space to walk on, right? And after her being in there, it's more disorganized than what it was, because she started rooting and taking and ripping and pushing and looking and okay, like I have a 1-size gallon jar, of maple sugar, where I thought that maple sugar, it's like $100 worth of maple sugar, where I thought, there's 2 places where I thought that jar might be. It's not there, people. Now, there are jars on my bed that when I cleared off the bed with all the fabric, and then I started, right? And I was writing as I was doing it, but I had to change a few things, or, maybe that maple sugar is there. But let's just put it this way, people. After I am done doing what I'm doing, I don't care if it takes a week. I don't care if it takes 2 weeks. I don't care if it takes 3 weeks. If I don't find that jar of maple sugar, she took it. Same thing with a big jar of chocolate chips. Because I did another run of chocolate chips just to top off. I don't see that yet. I haven't seen it yet. But then she buried a lot of shit and moved things around, and things were in places where they didn't really belong, right? In terms of, well, I like to keep my mayonnaise with my mayonnaise, so that if I need mayonnaise, I kind of go in that, right? When I'm finding mayonnaise way over there when it should be over there, like just stupid shit, right? So, I'm gonna box up whatever, miscellaneous, what I showed you that she put into a box. Well, those kind of things. Whatever, I don't care. I'm gonna take them downstairs and tell my son, if you want to make us dinner, you need something, use it. And when Andre cooks, he can grab something and build a meal around it, right? And if nobody wants it, then it can go in a bag, and it can go out on the road with some rice and stuff like that, can of peas or whatever, right? I don't, just whatever, I don't care, right? I don't care. And so I'm gonna work on that for the next couple days, just so I have more floor space, right? And maybe I'll ask my son to come up and help me when I want to climb up there, because I'm gonna have to climb up there, people. I have to take down those cans, right? So I don't knock them around when I'm climbing up there. And my son can stand there and, just make sure I don't injure myself, fall, because I get dizzy because of my eyes, right? So if I'm straining a lot, and I'm pulling and lifting and struggling and whatever, I get dizzy, and then once that kind of kicks in, it kind of stays with me. But I push past it. It's been like that for, oh God. Seriously, whatever this doctor did to my eyes, he really screwed them up. But besides that point, it's not about the eye doctor, right? Okay, so maybe I'll invite my son up when I'm ready to do this, so that he can spot check me, right? Just in case I fall or hurt myself or get my ankle caught in something, or if I need to pass something to him, right? Because, I need maybe even take out some fabric, because there's fabric up there too, right? And see if my pleathers are there. I told you I was a seamstress before I moved into this house. When I moved into this house, I went into the freaking yard as soon as spring came, and everything came to a screeching halt. When I say lost opportunities of 14 freaking years, I'm not kidding. And all it took was 20 minutes, 20 minutes, or whatever the hell it was. I don't know how long I sat here for, people. You know what I mean? I waited, and then I went to go check on her, and then I came back. Time can go fast. No, time can go slow, but it actually goes really fast. So maybe it was longer than 20 minutes. All I know is she's good at what she does, man. Oh yeah, and I feel like it was a smash and grab. I wouldn't necessarily call it a home invasion, but you could almost say a home invasion where, it wasn't violent. Normally when we think of home invasions, we think of a violent act. This was like a home invasion, only it wasn't violent, right? And you could equate it to a smash and grab because it happened so fast. Oh yeah, and it created damage because things got scattered and whatever, right? And of course, things were taken as well, right? So, my maple sugar, I'm sorry, maple syrups. My maple syrups there should have been at least 1 or 2 of them are gone. I know she took salmon. So what did I do? Walmart had them on sale, sockeye salmon, great value. I don't care. I don't normally buy brand name, I like cloverleaf sockeye salmon, but it wasn't on sale. But I will go, I guess, the generic or the store name. In this case, it was Great Value Sockeye Salmon. And so far, I've bought 20 cans. Yeah, because Walmart gave me a $4,000 increase on my credit card yesterday. Go figure. So what do you think? Do you think that came from God? Right? Saying, don't worry, you'll get through this. Just breathe and work yourself through it. And, you know, it's only stuff. And, you know, there's a lesson to learn. Not that you need to learn anything because it's been going on for, like, this type of shit with my shit being taken. But maybe, you know, I don't know, like, what's the lesson to learn? I don't know what the lesson for me to learn is other than to just build on my patience and just breathe through it, right? And don't drop the ball on out talking about it because, you know, I mean, there's so many people out there that are stealing and they justify it and the way they do it, and then try and say that it's legal, like with the city and my landlord. Like, how could you possibly say taking $5,000 away from me, making me pay $2,000 for a bin is legal? And then tell me to go plant freaking seeds in the yard with nothing. With nothing. Yeah, okay, I don't think so. Don't think so. And then expect me to sit down on the dirt and eat my food because you took away my table. You didn't steal it, you just told somebody to throw it out. I mean, you know, that's what I mean. What's the lesson? Where's the lesson in that, people? I don't know what the lesson is. All I know is I have to figure out how to keep moving forward. So, yeah, I told you what I'm going to do with those miscellaneous food sauces and whatever. And so they can go downstairs and Marcane can pick a few that he wants right away. And if he doesn't, I'm just putting them into, I'm going to call it the business room. Forget Tisha's room. It's the business room. Andre's business room. Right? I'm just going to put it in there temporarily until we get, you know, into Shemai's room and do whatever, but there's no rush there, right? And then once I can do that, then I can get up on top of that bunk. And it will give me an opportunity to look on more on what maybe she took on from the bottom bunk. Because some of that shit was heavy, so she wouldn't have been able to move it unless she had help. Yeah. But she likes to sew, and she likes glitter. She went to a fashion show. I watched her kids for her, Africans. She didn't come and drop off that shit yet. I wonder why. Maybe she doesn't want the Africans to see her. Oh, Rhea, how you doing? What's going on? What's all that shit? And I'll be, yeah, remember I told you I'm coming with all this shit that was fucking, you know, she's just covering up her ass because she stole from me. Maybe that's why she's not coming to the house, because she doesn't want the Africans to see her. Because she was at a freaking fashion show with them just not even 3 weeks ago because I was watching her kids for her. Like, whatever. Fuck off. Fuck off. Or maybe she will just drive by and drop it off and disappear into the abyss. I don't really care because most of it's going next door. If it shows up. If it shows up. And that's the stuff that I gave her. Which. Alright. She tells me on the phone she can stay an hour or so after Malachi gets home from school because her son can look after him for at least an hour and a bit. That's okay. Right? So she's got lots of time to do what it is that we need to do. Okay, fine. We get here. It doesn't even take an hour. And because I have to... You've seen how my dresser was stacked up nice, right? It takes me time to figure out what's not important in terms of if I'm going to put a layer of cans on the bottom, I want to make sure that I don't need them for a long time because I won't be able to get them out. So I have to really, and then what's on top of that, and then what's, if there's anything on top of that, and then I put a case of my canning jars on top, and that's it. But I have to, I have to scrutinize what I'm doing and balance the weight and just whatever, right? And I told her that. And she kept insisting to want to put more shit in there, and I said no. Because I have to figure it out, It takes time to figure this stuff out. Okay. I said, let's just, these 2 boxes, and that's it. She stacked them up. I said that. And I said, okay, close the door. We're done. We're done for the day. I pushed back my little dolly thing there. I said, okay, let's go into the kitchen, right? I said, first, no, let's look in the playroom, and then you can see what I need to do in there, because I have to put together a hanging rack, right? So she looked in there. I said, okay, so let's go for a cup of tea and discuss what we're going to do. If you want, you can have a cup of tea or coffee or whatever. We're done for the day. You come and we'll discuss what we're going to work on maybe next time you come, right? And you can get ready to go home. She came in here for a minute and then she ran away and she fucking disappeared. So I'm sitting here waiting for Andre to make me my coffee, and I'm waiting for her to come back. For all I know, maybe she was in there for a half an hour because, I'm like, I'm tired of people, right? I didn't even stop to think that she was a fucking smash and grab thief. No. I thought by asking her straight up if she would ever steal from me would make her take it serious and not do it if she ever thought about it. Because I had feelings that she was capable of it, and that there was a possibility that she was doing it just by the way she, running. Right? When people do shit like that, like, fuck, take it as a warning. When they come and they just barrel into some area they're not supposed to be just because, and they're looking. Why are you looking so much? Right? That's what made me nervous about her, but I asked Tisha. Tisha said no. I even asked Rhea. Rhea said no, she'd never do that. Yeah, okay, whatever. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you what I gave her, and then we're going to talk about this Uber. And after this little conversation here, I'm just going to upload it as is. I'm just going to work for the next few days, and if I feel like I need to do a video, I'll do a video. If not, I'll just do a video and then carry it over to the next day, because I don't know from day to day what's going to happen, or what I'm going to find. And I know I can't worry about what's on top of my bunk, on top of that bunk bed, because there's nothing I can do about it at this moment. And when I get up there, my son should be there just to help me, because I may want to take something off the bed, and he's strong and he can help with that, or anything could happen, right? I could slip, my foot could get caught, I could break my ankle, just whatever, because it's a bunk bed with metal bars, right? And I don't know what she did up there. I haven't been up in there in years, like 14 fucking years, people. Okay, so what did I give her? The trunk, 3 children's or 4 children's guitars, play plastic type, toddler type things, a case for them, a couple of little drums for the kids, a couple of cars, trucks, like larger little trucks, right? 1 anyway, maybe 2, from that was rescued from the bin, that came from the shed. Little, just a couple of other children's little something, and bangles. But the bangles were in one of the drums, like those shaky things, right? Tambourines, right? A blanket, just a small one, brand new. She took the winemaking kit which had its own bucket so that she could sell it, and make 30% on it. A plastic bag full of Time magazines that she was going to go through and see if there were any collectors in there and price them out and try and sell those. 2 sewing machines, old Singers. Not that we were going to sell it, but because she's good with sewing machines, she was going to see if they're get them working, and and then we discussed, like she said, that maybe she'd keep one for backup, and or just because she was having problems with her sewing machines. And I said, no, you need to, if you can set this one up like it works, you just have to oil it and stuff, right? And maybe there might be something going on with the tension, because the old Singer machines, after a while, they're tension knobs. And she's, yeah, I can open it up and do this. And I said, oh, well, that's just great. Then, do that. The other one is missing the bobbin casing and the plate, but that might be in my sewing room. So I told her, well, just, I'll look for it. And if not, we could order parts, right? And then that would be 2 extra sewing machines, because, I wanted to start a little business with making costumes or something, people, versus just selling the fabric. Just something, So it was agreed that she'd keep the sewing machines and get them in working condition. And then we'd decide what we were going to do with them. So 2 of those. The child's easel, which was quite large, but nothing outlandish, okay? I didn't give her any food. I gave her just a small jar of Alfredo sauce, and she made mention of the shrimp, and I said, we'll take a couple cans, because we weren't doing food, because I told her, like, when we were going to go into Shimei's room, start moving around those things, that's when I'd give her a bit of food, right? With the, vacuum seal this and vacuum seal that, and, whatever, right? I already had given her so much. Anything else that I can think of right now? No. Not that I can think of. If it is, it's just 1 or 2 things. Not enough for what happened when this so-called Uber guy showed up. Okay? She comes out. I've been sitting here waiting for her. I already went to the bathroom looking for her. Didn't even think to look in my room. I'm going to sneeze. So I come back and I sit down. How long? I'm going to sneeze. Oh, my Lord. No, that was just a small one. Whew. Just hold on a minute. Okay, so we're going to calculate approximately how much I've spent since Rhea left to build up back quickly what I think is gone, so that I can hum as I plan, hopefully by the end of the year, to consolidate maybe some of my bills, because it's the right thing to do, because I won't need this shit anymore. So get the monkey off your back, right? All right. But before I talk about this, and we'll end it on how much I've spent since this has all happened, people. And I'm not getting mad about it. I'm annoyed about it, but I'm not getting mad about it. Because if I'm not doing the right thing, I wouldn't have gotten that $4,000 extra on my credit card with Walmart. But the thing is, I'm not going to spend $4,000. I'm going to sit on it and keep paying down my bill after I buy what I want to compensate for what I think is gone, which I've already bought a whole bunch of shit, and we'll talk about that. And then we'll tally up between the two. Well, yeah. Okay, so you heard what I gave her, which really, it was a lot. in terms of what she took, because not everything I gave to her. Oh, and Betty Boo bags. Two Betty Boo bags with a little M&M backpack. Right? Because, you know, like, anyway, she was going to try and sell them. Outside of that, there was nothing else. So she called an Uber, where it was a van so that you could take stuff with you, extra stuff. And she's done this before. And you pay a little extra money for the Uber, right? Or the taxi. You know, if you ask for a van, you pay an extra $10 or $15 above the standard price, as if it was just a normal vehicle, okay? And she said, yeah, I'm going to do that. So, okay, so she comes here. Oh, you got so much corned beef and blah, blah, blah. Well, how do you know I got a lot of corn? Oh, I've seen it. You know, corned beef is so expensive. You got 2 of them on your... No, because you seen them on my fucking bunk bed, bitch. That's why. Or wherever. Or you probably found a few in a box, in a different box, and you raided that box. As a matter of fact, there is an empty box that says 10 cans of freaking corned beef, and that's gone. So the box is there, but the cans are gone. So who knows, right? But, you know, but I gotta go. Malachi's getting home from school. I have to hurry up and get home. Da-da-da-da. Complete opposite of what she was saying before she got here. Even when she got here, she reassured me that she could stay longer because it was okay for her son to look after Malachi for an hour because she's done that before, blah, 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 and right? And not for me not to get all stressed out about it, right? And then when I cut it short and say, okay, we're done, and it was less than an hour to do what we needed to do because that was it, right? The goal was to take out the trunk. Honestly, I should have had Andre help me with it, but besides that point, you know, there was nothing left to do. But she disappeared for 15, 20 minutes. Maybe it was fucking longer than 20 minutes. Like I said, I was sitting here and, you know, I'm like, you know, whatever, right? Because, you know... tired people. So maybe it was a little more than 20 minutes. I don't know. It had to have been 20 minutes anyway. And she come and, oh, I gotta go, and and I'm calling an Uber, and I'm like, yeah. You know, oh, we'll pick up on Friday. I said, oh, I don't know, we'll see how it goes, right? Because I have to put stuff away now, right? And then she runs off to the front door. And she was guarding that shit. That's what she was doing. So I get up, I follow her, and she's standing there. I see the trunk with the lid on it. I see a couple of plastic bags, but that's all I see, right? And she's on the phone. I wander off for a minute, I come back, she's still, and then the Uber guy comes. And they're talking. And I'm like, what's up? Oh, well, you know, he's saying I got too much stuff, and I'm canceling the order, but yet he's taking the shit. So she said she called an Uber guy. He gets here knowing that he's going to be putting shit in his van because she asked for that specifically. But then he, I guess, complains that it's too much. But yet, at the same time, they cut a deal. I don't know what kind of deal that they cut, but they cut a deal where she canceled the order, but he still took the shit. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I guess if that works for you guys, what am I supposed to say? So I just walked away, people, as she was just, and then but before I walked away, because she was guarding, she was standing right fucking in front of the shit. And, you know, and he agreed to take the shit, but he said, you know, you canceled. She go, yeah. So she canceled the order, but he still took it for her, even though apparently he was complaining it was too much. So that doesn't add up. Outside of, well, if it was too, because they run on time, don't they? I don't know anything about Ubers, but I mean, like, even if it took 10 minutes to load up the van, that's why she hired him, was to have that 10 extra minutes to put the things in the van. Right? or 5 minutes or whatever. And in light of what I gave her, I'm telling you, it wouldn't have taken no more than 10 minutes at best to put everything in the fucking van. It wasn't that much. It really wasn't. Sure, it was a lot, but it wasn't a lot. But he canceled it. She confirmed to him that she had canceled it, because they had cut a deal that he was still going to take the stuff, even though she said he didn't want to because it was too much. Okay. So that right there tells you that it would have taken maybe a little longer than 10 minutes to load up, or I don't know, people, because she picked up that trunk and because it was heavy, okay? And Andre, I guess, was looking out the window, watching her carrying it down the stairs, and she was teetering with it. He told me. But I didn't go outside and look. Like I said, I get overwhelmed with my eyes. I don't like going outside and looking because it's different lighting and it whoosh. And then everything gets me more foggy for me and stuff, right? So, you know, those are physiological things going on with me. So I just tend to avoid situations where, you know, it inundates me with bright light all of a sudden, right? Because, you know, it's got issues. So I just didn't follow her. But the dude still took her. And she canceled the order. Even though he was complaining it was too much. Why wouldn't he take it if he knew he was picking up somebody with some shit? That's why he hired extra and pay more money. Right? That's why you pay the extra $10, $15 so that you can load up the van with the stuff that you need moved to the next location. If it was too much, why did you take it? Why did she have to cancel the order? Maybe it was too much and it was going to take too long to load up, and because I didn't go outside and fucking follow up on the stupid shit, they were out there longer than it should have been, and maybe that would have been a conflict with the company. I don't know. So you know what I'm going to do, people? This week, Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm phoning up the Uber company out here, and I'm going to ask to speak to a supervisor. Damn rights. I'm going to tell them what day, approximately what time, give them my address, and they need to figure out who came to my freaking house. Yeah. And if there was even a booking with Uber, because I feel like this is a fucking smash and grab, a home invasion. And if I don't find my pleathers up there and my flat sequins fucking bolts of fabric, which I don't think I'm going to find because she robbed a whole bunch of it up there, I'm pretty damn sure of it, with that black interface all of a sudden sticking up like this, all I have to do is get in there and dig around. I just have to climb up there and nest myself in there like a little birdie. Maybe she took something off of the bunk bed itself too, because there was fabric back there, people. Maybe there's another gaping fucking hole in there for all we know. And I'm like, well, how could she have done it? I mean, yeah, she's tall, but that shit's like far. But she's nimble, and she's quick, and she has precision because she's done it before. And she doesn't waste time when she puts her sights on something. And she obviously gets off on it because I mean, your heart's got to be going like this, you would think. You know, in terms of taking chances, me walking into the room, oh, what the fuck are you doing up on my bed there on the top, grabbing my fabric? Like, oh, what the fuck, Rhea? Like, what? Are you retarded? I mean, that takes a pretty bold person to do something like that. So I'm going to phone up the Uber company. I'm going to ask for a supervisor. Yeah, I am. They're not going to lie to me. I'm going to let them know what happened. I'm going to ask them to figure out who came to my house at the time that they came, and ask why. They need to ask that dude why they canceled the appointment. Like why he was discussing with the customer to what is that called? cancel the order, but yet he still took her with my stuff, as he was complaining initially that it was too much. If that was the case, he should have left and she should have just gotten a new one. Why did he want her to cancel the order and then agreed to take her shit? The only thing I can think of is it took a little longer to load it up because there was more out there than what I gave her, people. You see, that's the thing. There was more out there. Yeah. So, of course, you know, my imagination station is running wild here now. Talk about being freaking paranoid. I'm like, well, was somebody else creeping in my house with her and me maybe not realizing it? Or did she have somebody out in the fucking hiding behind the fence over there, grabbing the shit and stacking it up as she was going in and out? Like, who knows? I don't know. I don't know how it's possible to do all this so quickly. But she's 5'9" and she's strong and she's experienced. Yeah, that's... And she's bold. And she was determined. And she has no fucking remorse. Because she couldn't wait to come back and start all over again in a different room. So my first initial contact with her, when I started to think that maybe she was a thief, which was basically when my son threw out all that stuff, it ended up in the garage, and just the way she was carrying on, you know, I'm not saying she stole anything from me because it was all giveaway, but just some of the behavior I've been exposed to in the past from other people that steal. And it took this long to come full circle to catch her in the fucking act. And I even asked Tisha, like I said, a couple times. I even asked Rhea straight to her face, I have to ask you, when you come to my house and you drop off your kids and you run off and you're looking, and are you thinking of stealing my stuff? No, I would never do that. You're so kind to me, blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, have a good night. Right? I'll see you at 3, 4 in the morning when you come pick up your kids. Yeah, okay. No, my spidey senses had already warned me. But because she's good with the gift of the gab, and I'm so freaking vulnerable, I took the bait. And where's this lesson in all this? I don't know what the lesson is, other than, like I said, I'm already dead. I just get to witness to see where my shit goes, and it exposes people for what they really are in terms of the human being and what makes them tick, right? It doesn't matter who the human being is. It's just human beings, it seems. And because I don't sew anymore, if those bolts of fabric are gone, well, obviously I'm going to be heartbroken, right? Not because I'm losing quote-unquote money, but because I love them. They've been sitting up on that fucking shelf for 14 fucking years. And it took some, I don't know what, to do a smash and grab and violate my life to, I don't know what she hopes to gain from it. Oh, I know. She's going to make some African clothes. Yeah. So that she can sign up with the fucking fashion show next year. Yeah. Brag on about how nice her clothes look because she's using flat sequins and pleathers. Yeah, I wonder where she got it from. Because the last time I babysat for her, she went to an African freaking fashion show. And it just so happens I have a whole bunch of Africans that live next door to me. Yeah. So I'm sure somebody knows her. And if they knew what she was really like, that information would spread like wildfire. And maybe that's why she's not dropping off that shit, because she doesn't want to be noticed by an African across the street. Because you know she's not bringing back my fabric. You know she's not bringing back my maple sugar if she has my 1 gallon jar of maple sugar. You know she's not bringing back my sockeye salmon. You know she's not bringing back my ham or anything that she took, because she damn well took something. Yeah. And with that, this is where we're going to end it. So far since this all happened, I have a little order today for $79.41 because I'm trying to slow down here with my spending. And of course it was bought on a credit card. Just because I'm packing a new box of ham. So I needed 3 extra cans of ham, and I don't want to pack new ham with old ham for long term, so I had to buy 3 times at 4 at a pop to get enough, or maybe I bought 4 times, I don't know. All I know is with these 4 coming in, it should be just enough to fill the box, right? And then that's for long term. I don't have to worry about it because I got ham behind my door. And I should have other ham in boxes in my room, but so far I haven't found them. Smaller boxes, okay? I haven't found them yet. I bought the little hot sauce just because. And then because they got corned beef, right, at $3.50 a can, and I'm pretty sure some of that's gone, I bought 4 to just make another box. That's it. And I got other corned beef. I like the round ones, the big round ones. Whether she found some of those or not remains to be seen. It's going to take me time to figure that one out. But prior to that, I did a bigger shop. So $80 there. Okay. $335.46. When was she here? She was here last Tuesday, right? Where are we? April 20th. Tuesday. So she would have been here on the 16th. No, that's Wednesday. She would have been here on the 15th. She was here on the 15th. All I have to do is look at my videos. You're right, Shelley. Just keep putting out those videos because it's proof. One way or another, it's proof. If I forget because of brain fog, all I have to do is look on the video. And it will remind me of the date. So no, she was here last Tuesday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on the 6th day since she's been here. And I've already spent $80 plus $343. Wait. No, more than that. $80, okay, on April 20th, which is coming today, so I can finish filling up the box, tape it up, and call it a day, and put some fucking canned goods on top of it in terms of home canning, because I got a whole whack of freaking gravy mixes that we're going to be chowing down on with this home canned beef and home canned chicken, and so good. Right, so $80 there, and then I did a one on the 19th, because I had to buy the 4 cans of ham on the cheap, right? Get the 4 cans of corned beef on the cheap. That was $118.91. And then on April 19th was $393.60. All on one credit card, okay? Oh, wait, and on the 15th. And on the 15th, $335.46. cents. Like, holy shit. What did I buy on the 15th? 15th, 18th, 19th, 20th. All because this bitch stole from me. What did I buy on the 15th? Because wasn't she here on the 15th? What did I buy? Yeah. I bought more fucking ham. What do you call that? Crab. Because because I just got a bad vibe from her, people. She was fucking harassing me about shrimp and crab and corned beef, and, you know, she was guilt tripping me and shit. Yeah, I stocked, I said, because I don't know. I bought another 10 more cans of fucking chunk crab meat. Yeah, because I went back into my room and I noticed that box on my floor and I knew she had done something and I freaked out and I came and I fucking compensated it right from the get-go. So from the 15th, I've been gooning. From the moment she left and I opened my door and I found that box on the floor that shouldn't be there with those 2 boxes moved. With my clothes looking like it had been rifled through. I told you. My addiction with dopamines, dude. So to calm myself down, I thought, you little bitch, okay, if you did steal something like crab meat, being that you were going on about corned beef and how expensive crab was and blah, 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 I just thought I'd fucking cover my bases before I found out the truth. That's why I did it, people. That's why I did it. So let's just get the fucking numbers right here, okay? Okay, all right, so we'll take it from the 15th. 335, I need a calculator for this because I don't want to think, my brain hurts. Let me get a calculator, I'll be right back, hold on. Okay, so you know I'm always a bag of nerves with Amari. Gotta have that heart of steel, right? You just never know. I hear a noise and I'm like, oh. Okay. So, yeah, like, I'm just going to have my son spot check me if I can grab off a couple of things, assuming that they're even there. Because I'll know people, right? I haven't been up there for years, but I know what's up there. And I just don't know how I know how she did it behind the door. I showed you that. That was easy peasy. That was really easy. Anybody could do that. Especially if you're good at doing that kind of stuff. And she clearly is good at doing that kind of stuff. Right? I wouldn't say she's good at hiding her tracks, but she's definitely good at fucking stealing, okay? Where I'm going to take you next when I get to that spot, I don't know how she could have done it. I just don't. I mean, I can only imagine how she did it. But once she grabbed it, though, once she got a hold of it, like, she could have grabbed something and taken a stick or something, like, because I got different things in my room, right? Or a coat hanger, and you know, she could have done and just snagged the bag and then pulled it, and then and because she's tall and long arms, she just pull it, right? And then because it was already in bags, because I protect the fabric, right? It would be easy just to grab it and fucking run out the door and pile it up, put it in cover it up, because for him to say it was too much to take, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. It required a van, but it wasn't too much to take. But he took it anyway. So, if you know, let the company deal with him. And then if I find out that there was no Uber dude, it was just, it's my imagination station, then that means she's working with somebody, doing this stuff to other people, and whenever she gets an opportunity. Yeah. Because it feels like a professional kind of sting, you know, a sting. Maybe because she's been plotting and scheming long before she showed up, right? You know, the signs were there, right? I mean, clearly I was disturbed. I asked Tisha several times. I asked Rhea like 2 times. You wouldn't steal off me. I don't want to say this, but I have to ask you, Rhea, would you steal from me? Because I didn't know how to approach the problem with me that nagging outside of being honest with her and just straight up freaking asking her. oh, because she has no one to help her with the kids, and she's out here in Victoria, or in British Columbia, Canada, all by herself, and her family's in Ontario, and oh, booze, all I have is you and Tisha, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so you're guilt tripping me. But yet I'm feeling like you're stealing from me, so I have to ask you, being that you guilt trip me because you've got no one to watch your kids and help you. Yeah, okay. When my instincts were right from the get-go, from the very first time. She reminds me of my stepson, Clayton. He was tall, doing the same shit. Yeah, we know why. You seen that, eh? So, the only thing I want, I don't want any more ham, because I should have ham in my room in boxes. If I don't find them, then within the year, I will replace them. Okay? I just had to get the monkey off my back. That's what the purpose of that was, what I just talked about. Right? If I don't find what I'm looking for over the next several months, because it's going to take a while to do a good job on it, right? Then that means she stole them, okay? Same thing with the few boxes of sockeye salmon that were scattered around in there, which I have not found yet. I have not found them yet. Isn't that interesting? I find empty boxes, you know, but I haven't found what I'm looking for in there yet. So, you know, I am stocking up on the sockeye only because it's $1.50 off a can, and it's a good, you know, it's okay, you know. What I find the difference between, we'll just call it the company brand versus Cloverleaf sockeye salmon, or maybe you get a can of sockeye salmon from the dollar store, which is a completely different brand. They just taste slightly different, I guess, to do with the salts that they use, or, you know, but at the end of the day, it's okay. So 20 cans is not going to be enough to fill a box, more than likely. So I'm going to have to do another 10 today. And for that, I pay $40. By the grace of God, he got my back. You know, he's helping me to shake the monkey off my back and said, don't worry. You know, you can rack a little bit more up on your credit card because you know what you got to do. You've been wanting to do it, and I'm already thinking about maybe approaching the idea of consolidating my bills. I'm just not ready for that yet, right? So by the end of the year, I'll see where I'm at with things, right? Discipline myself to not be tempted to do this kind of stuff. But if she would never have done what she did, I wouldn't be doing this stuff. You see, that's the point. And I'm not going to have it nag at me, and I'm not going to have it eat me up inside. You know, I'm not going to have it make me get depressed or anything, right? I'm just going to deal with the problem, correct the problem to the best of my ability, and get on to the next thing that I need to do, which at this point, when it comes to fabric, I suppose, well, you can forget about making stripper costumes with Rhea and starting a little business, because clearly that's not on her mind. Right? She doesn't care about that shit. And whatever little bit that she stole from me in terms of fabric is not going to get her very far in life, because just like the clothes that she stole, she cursed herself with it. So, you know, as soon as anything she makes and tries to sell it to somebody else, they're going to feel it. One way or another, they're going to feel it. Because that's not where it belongs, that fabric. That's not where it belongs. It belongs where I'm going to show you if she took it. And I do believe she took it. I do. And you're looking at $1,000 or more, because you're dealing with pleathers and flat sequins, which is expensive. So when I said $1,000 to $2,000, I wasn't kidding. Now we're at the $2,000 mark with just the fabric alone coming in. And I just showed you how I spent at least almost $1,000. Well, yeah, I did. Minus a few things that, you know, bananas and oranges, not very much. It's bullshit, people. Total freaking bullshit. I told Andre I'm not letting people like that, nobody into my house no more. No, I'm done. I don't care if you have nobody. I have nobody either. Right. Suck it up. Deal with it. That's the only thing I got to say on that one. So I guess at some point in the next couple of months, I'll be selling fabric. I just have to figure out how I'm going to do it. If I think I can sew a little something, I will. Wouldn't that be amazing? But I don't know about that. Maybe. It depends. Yeah. It won't be like when I was young and I could see and my stitch was straight. It might be a little like that, but you know, it is what it is, right? At least, you know, I'm not hurting anybody, right? I want to make Amari some pants. Fleece pants. Okay.